My friend, I want you to listen carefully. You ever notice how some women seem to give you all the signals 1 minute, then pull away the next? It's like you're catching glimpses of something real, something deep, but then, just as quickly, it vanishes behind a wall of distance or indifference. And you're left wondering, was that just my imagination? Am I reading into something that isn't there? No, you're not imagining things. See, when a woman is falling for you but scared to show it, her behavior becomes a delicate dance between desire and defense. Her heart is in the room before her confidence ever catches up. She wants to reach out, wants to connect, wants to let it all pour out, but then something inside says, no, it's not safe yet. So instead of just saying how she feels, she sends mixed signals, and I don't mean manipulation, I mean confusion. Not yours, hers. She's confused by her own emotions, confused by how much space you take up in her thoughts, and confused by the intensity of feelings that maybe she didn't plan to have. Love wasn't on her schedule, she wasn't prepared for it, and now that it's knocking, it's both beautiful and terrifying. This is why you might see her pull away after a great conversation or act strangely after an amazing moment. One day she's laughing at your jokes, leaning in, opening up, and the next she's distant, maybe even cold. That's not her rejecting you, that's fear trying to protect her from something that feels too good to be true. A woman in love who's scared won't always come out and say, I love you. Instead, she'll try to manage her feelings by controlling the connection. She'll set boundaries that don't quite make sense. She'll avoid eye contact after saying something vulnerable. She'll change the subject when things get too deep. Why? Because the closer she feels to you, the more exposed she feels emotionally, and for her, that exposure is frightening. You see, a lot of women have loved before and been hurt. They've given their hearts too fast, they've trusted too easily. They've opened up to the wrong people, and so now love comes with an alarm system sensitivity, caution, even emotional walls that seem unbreakable. But behind those walls, the feeling is real, very real. That's why her mixed signals are not a sign that she doesn't care. They're a sign that she does. If she didn't care, she wouldn't bother showing up at all. She wouldn't engage, wouldn't hesitate, wouldn't even try to hold back because there'd be nothing to hide. But when a woman truly feels something deep, something tender, she will often try to protect it by disguising it, at least until she feels safe enough to reveal it. And make no mistake, she wants you to know, in her own way, she's hoping you'll see past the hesitation. She's hoping you'll recognize that every sudden pause, every nervous laugh, every unexpected withdrawal is her way of trying to manage a feeling she hasn't figured out how to handle yet. So if you're seeing someone act like she's into you one day and then unsure the next, don't be so quick to label it as hot and cold. Instead, look deeper. Ask yourself, what does she do when she thinks you're not paying attention? Does she smile when your back is turned? Does she show up for you in quiet ways? Does she care about the little things that most people miss? Because mixed signals aren't always about mixed feelings. Sometimes they are about big feelings wrapped in fear. Sometimes they are about love that doesn't know how to express itself yet. And sometimes they are about a woman learning to trust again, slowly, one step at a time. Don't chase, don't pressure, but don't ignore it either. Just be present, be consistent, be calm in the moments when she feels like running. Because if she sees that your presence doesn't come with pressure, that your patience doesn't come with expectations, she might finally feel safe enough to stop hiding and start showing what her heart's been trying to say all along. She doesn't want to be misunderstood, she's just scared of being misused. And that's the difference most people miss. Let that sink in. Sometimes, when a woman's in love with you but too scared to show it, she won't tell you with words, she'll tell you through the details. The subtle things, the quiet noticing, the way she starts picking up on the small parts of your world that no one else really pays attention to. Because for her, love doesn't begin with grand gestures. It begins with awareness. You might not even realize it at first. You'll just notice she remembers things you didn't expect her to. Maybe you mentioned once offhand that you like your coffee a certain way, and the next time you're together, that's exactly how she brings it. Maybe you told her about a rough week you had months ago, and she still remembers the exact reason why it was tough for you. Not because she was trying to impress you, not because she took notes, but because when she listens to you, she listens with her heart. When a woman has feelings for you but hasn't admitted them, her attention becomes her way of showing up. She notices your moods even when you're pretending everything's fine. She reads the tone in your voice, the way your energy shifts when something's bothering you. She'll ask how you're doing, and not in a casual, surface-level way, but in that deeper, almost silent way that says, I can see something's off, even if you're not saying it. She tunes into the rhythm of your life. She'll remember the day of your big presentation or interview. She'll send you a quick good luck message, not making a big deal out of it, but knowing exactly what it means to you. She'll pick up on the songs you like, the way your face lights up when you talk about your passions, and even the way you talk about your friends or your family. She absorbs those things because that's how love works for her, through deep presence, even in silence. But here's the thing, she doesn't point it out. She doesn't say, look how much I remember. She just quietly carries that information in her actions. It's almost like a language she's speaking without words. Every little act, every thoughtful gesture is her way of saying, you matter to me more than you know. It can be confusing because you might not recognize it as affection at first. She may not be openly affectionate. She may not flirt in the obvious ways or say anything romantic. In fact, sometimes she'll go out of her way to downplay her interest. She might say she's just being nice, or that she's like this with everyone, but you'll feel the difference because this level of attention isn't casual. It's intentional. You might also notice that she's incredibly supportive in ways that feel quiet but powerful. She'll show interest in your goals, in what drives you, in the things you care about. She might send you something related to a project you mentioned once. Or she'll ask follow-up questions weeks later about something you thought she forgot. That's love paying attention. And maybe deep down, she's hoping you'll notice that too. Not just what she's doing, but why she's doing it. She's hoping you'll pick up on the fact that no one else cares quite the way she does. She's not just remembering facts, she's remembering you. Your patterns, your worries, your dreams, your hesitations. She's building a quiet map of who you are, so she can care about you more meaningfully. Now don't confuse this with obsession or dependency. It's not that. It's care, it's depth. It's someone who sees you in a room full of distractions and still chooses to pay attention to you. Because love, when it's real, doesn't shout. It listens, it remembers, it leans in, and the reason she might be scared to express it outright is because that kind of love feels risky. What if you don't feel the same way? What if she's misreading the connection, so she hides it in small acts, in noticing things that don't need to be noticed? But that's her love language, observing, remembering, understanding. That's her version of shouting, I love you, without making a sound. So if you're wondering if she feels something deeper for you, look at the way she sees you. Not just in the big, obvious moments, but in the quiet ones when you think no one's watching. Look at how she responds when you talk about your day, how she remembers your worries, how she supports your wins even if they seem small. That's not friendship. That's not coincidence. That's someone loving you carefully from a place where her heart speaks softly because it's afraid to speak loudly. And that kind of love, that's the kind that stays. Sometimes when a woman is in love with you but too afraid to say it, her silence says more than her words ever could. And the most honest part of that silence, it's in her eyes. Her eyes will speak long before her lips ever do. You'll catch it in those fleeting glances when she thinks you're not looking. In the way she watches you from across the room, not with obsession, not with desperation, but with a kind of quiet admiration. Like she's memorizing something she knows she might never get the courage to claim. You'll see her look away quickly when your eyes meet, pretending it was nothing, even though that 1 second of connection probably stirred something deep inside her. This isn't just about eye contact, it's about eye language. It's in those moments when she gazes at you longer than necessary but pulls away the moment she realizes she's been caught. It's that little flicker of panic when vulnerability almost escapes her. That look that says, I feel something, but I'm afraid to let it show. And when a woman is hiding her feelings, her eyes often carry a weight, not because she doesn't want you to know, but because part of her does. Part of her is hoping you'll look past the words she's not saying and see the truth in the way she watches you. She's hoping you'll recognize that there's a story behind her glance, a depth that's begging to be understood even if it can't be spoken yet. You might notice that when she laughs, her eyes are doing something more, something warmer. Or maybe, when you're talking, she's looking at you in that way people look at something they don't want to lose. That look is love, it's just wrapped in fear, because her heart is louder than her voice, and her eyes are where it leaks out. Sometimes she'll look at you like she wants to say everything, but the words get stuck between her heart and her mouth. Not because she doesn't trust you, but because she's still trying to trust herself, to trust that what she's feeling is okay to feel, to trust that if she lets it out, she won't be left standing there alone with a heart exposed and nowhere to hide. Love makes people brave, yes, but it also makes them vulnerable, especially when they've been hurt before. Especially when they've loved before and didn't feel loved back. And so now, even when it's real, even when it's genuine, it hides. Not because it's weak, but because it's sacred, and her eyes become the only place where that sacred truth escapes. You'll notice these moments in quiet settings, when the room isn't loud, when conversation slows down, when the world doesn't demand anything of her. That's when her eyes reveal what she's been holding in. That slight hesitation before she looks away, that softness when she smiles, that flicker of emotion that rises up before she blinks it away. It's not just romantic tension, it's emotional honesty. That kind of gaze is her soul trying to whisper something her fear won't let her say. And if you really care, if you're really paying attention, you'll start to understand what she's saying, even in the silence. You'll realize that love doesn't always walk up and announce itself. Sometimes it sits quietly, afraid of being misunderstood, hoping its truth is still seen anyway. And maybe you're wondering, why not just say it? Why not just tell me how she feels? But think about it. When something means everything to you, would you risk it so easily? Would you throw your heart on the table if you weren't sure how it would be received? For her, that risk feels too big, too raw, too final, so she watches, she waits, she hopes, and in the meantime, her eyes become her messenger. They carry the emotion her voice can't carry yet. They're her way of saying, I see you, I care about you, I feel something real, but I don't know how to let you see all of it without losing a part of myself. And if you ever catch her looking at you like she's holding something back, she is. If her eyes soften when you walk into a room, if they linger a second too long when you laugh, if they shine a little brighter when you speak, that's her love, unspoken but alive. That's the part of her heart that's already made its choice, even if her mouth hasn't caught up. So the next time you wonder what she's feeling, don't just listen to what she says. Watch how she sees you, because sometimes love doesn't come out in poetry or confessions or big emotional declarations. Sometimes love just looks at you and hopes you see it. There's a kind of love that doesn't walk in with fireworks or loud announcements. It doesn't flood your inbox with long confessions or post romantic quotes all over social media. It stays in the background, soft, steady, and silent. And sometimes the woman who loves you most is the one quietly rooting for you when you don't even know she's watching. She's not the one always in your face with affection or dramatic declarations. No, her love is quiet. It's patient, it's careful, and that's because it's real. When a woman is in love with you but afraid to show it, she won't always stand in front of you declaring her feelings. Instead, she'll stand behind you, supporting you in ways that seem small, but are deeply intentional. She'll defend you when you're not there to hear it. She'll correct someone gently when they misunderstand your intentions. She'll speak well of you to others, not for praise, not for validation, but simply because she believes in you. And belief, that deep, genuine belief, is one of the most powerful signs of love. You might not notice it at first. You might think she's just a really good friend. Maybe she checks in on you now and then, or always seems to show up when you need someone. Maybe she listens more than most. Maybe she celebrates your wins in a way that feels personal, almost emotional, as if your happiness means something to her too. That's not just kindness, that's her heart doing what her voice is still too scared to do. When you talk about your dreams, she doesn't just nod politely. She leans in, she asks questions, she remembers, and even if she never brings it up again in conversation, the next time she sees something related to that dream, she sends it your way. A post, a video, a quote, an opportunity, quiet support, gentle encouragement, no pressure, no spotlight. Just love working silently behind the scenes. And the thing is, she's not doing it for recognition. She's not hoping you'll suddenly realize and fall at her feet. She does it because she can't not care. That's what real love does. It shows up, even when it has no promise of being returned. She might never say the words, but look at the way she treats your time. She's available when it matters. She responds when others don't. She makes space for your struggles even when she's carrying her own. She offers help, not because she expects something back, but because your peace of mind is something she deeply wants for you. And sometimes she hides that love behind jokes or casual phrases. She'll downplay it. She'll act like it's no big deal. But it is a big deal, because people don't invest their emotional energy into someone for no reason. Her actions are quiet, but they're not random. She's scared, yes, scared of losing what little closeness she already has with you. Scared that if she confesses how she truly feels, everything will change. So instead of risking it all, she chooses the safest path she knows, staying close enough to care, but far enough not to get hurt. That's why you might feel her presence more than you see it. She's there for the small wins, the late-night talks, the silent struggles. She's the one sending encouragement when things fall apart, the one who notices when something's wrong even if you haven't said a word. She supports you like it's instinct because for her it is, and you'll know she's that woman when her support doesn't stop just because the moment has passed. She's not temporary. She doesn't disappear when things get tough or when life gets busy. She's steady. Even from the shadows, she's consistent. It takes strength to love someone quietly. It takes courage to give without guarantee. And that's what she's doing, loving you in a way that protects her heart but still honors yours. Because even if she's scared to show it fully, she refuses to let that fear stop her from showing up for you in every other way she knows how. So if you're wondering whether she loves you, look past the noise, look beyond the obvious. Don't just listen for words, watch for presence. Watch for the support that keeps showing up, even when it doesn't have to. Watch for the way she invests in your happiness without ever asking for anything back. Because sometimes the greatest kind of love isn't loud. Sometimes it stands behind you, not in front of you. Not seeking attention, not demanding recognition, just being there, loyal, quiet, and real, and that kind of love, that's the kind that lasts.